Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 169, nice, of our FC Isle of Man series. If you haven't gone back and watched the other episodes from earlier this week, go and check them out. It's going to bring you up to date with what we're doing in the second half of the season, all the episodes that we've had this week, the title race, our Champions League journey, FA Cup run, all that sort of stuff will bring you up to date in today's episode because we've got some huge games coming and a massive semi-final tie, which we're going to bring you in today's episode. Let's not waste too much time. Let's jump straight in and see how we've gone. So, as you guys can see, just above my head here, we're currently sitting second in the division, 35 games played, 25 wins, 7 draws, 3 defeats, plus 60 goal difference and 82 points. We're just behind Chelsea by 2 points. If you compare the runs home, I think we do have the better schedule. We've got Everton in the league, who are in 13th spot, Leeds, who are in 7th, probably the best team remaining that we play, and Watford in 15th. If we look over at Chelsea's remaining fixtures, they've got Arsenal in 5th, who we know are a good side, Leicester in 10th, who aren't terrible, and Man City, who are in 3rd. If one of those teams can even get a draw, we'll go ahead on goal difference, but that is all down to us winning our remaining games this season. Of course, we did beat them in the Champions League quarterfinals in yesterday's episode. I think that gives us a psychological edge, but in reality now, they're not looking at Champions League football. They're just focusing on their remaining Premier Division fixtures. We have, kind of the added burner of Champions League as well as Premier Division football that we need to try and get through, which brings us to our Champions League semi-final tie. It's ourselves versus Man City. We're going to play the first leg at home and then the second leg away. We will bring you both games in today's episode. We then also having the other tie, Manchester United versus Real Madrid. We will keep an eye on that one. That should be super interesting as well. Clicking into this page, I didn't quite realise, but Bruno Castro, 7 assists, second highest assist amount in the competition so far this season. Pablo Rivera, 7 goals, is equal top scorer. So a couple of those players still in the competition could jump to being leaders in terms of their overall goals, assists. Who have we got in terms of average rating for the competition? No one's super high up in the top 20, but who knows? A couple of good performances from a player could see them rocket up that list as well. It's all very exciting stuff and the furthest that we've gotten in the Champions League so far. Now, looking over at the squad, we have got pretty much a full-strength lineup to pick from. David Lind is back and he can have a fitness test for 45 minutes. We're not going to risk him in the first leg. We're going to play Jose Santana in the middle. Furkan Yilmaz, he wouldn't start anyway, but he's also back in the squad after being out for quite a while injured. Uli Schaefer will play. He's done quite well, 16 goals, chipping in from mostly like sub and reserve appearances. Kozlov makes the bench because Ruben Martinez is out. He's out 5 to 8 weeks. He was out injured for a little while with a pulled calf muscle. He came back in, was fully fit. We put him back in for a game, and about 20 minutes in, he went down again with a torn hamstring. He's not had the greatest season in terms of overall fitness. You can see he's missed so far cumulatively about 6.5 weeks, plus whatever additional time is remaining on his torn hamstring, which is frustrating. But, you got to deal with these things, and thankfully, Schaefer can come straight in and play at a similar rate, albeit not as high a star quality, but he has chipped in with some huge goals recently. Of the 2 games we played off screen, I should also mention we beat Wolves 5-0 in a very good performance. Rivera getting a hat-trick and Martinez scoring before going off injured. This one was a little bit heavy as well. We also lost Carlos Andre. We lost Santana for a game due to yellow card suspension. We did for both of these fixtures miss Arnaud Henry, who's been away with yellow cards. Thankfully, we got a good result against West Brom as well. It's always tough when you play the bottom side in the division at any point. They did get a penalty in the 88th minute, and I started to panic at 2-1, thinking, oh shit, this is going to go the wrong way and they're going to equalise. But Uli Schaefer, 93rd minute, fantastic goal from a wide right area. Curled back past the goalkeeper into the far corner. You love to see it. And a wonderful contribution from him off the bench as well. So we're in decent form. We haven't actually lost since our FA Cup replay, funnily enough, against Manchester City. And even then, that was on penalties. So it's been quite a good season for us overall. It was back in January when we last experienced a defeat in regulation time. Tactically speaking, we're going to go attacking in this first leg. We might switch to positive away from home. If attacking is too open and we're giving City too many chances on the counter, knowing how good some of their front three can be, we might drop to positive a little bit earlier than planned. If we look at previous meetings against them, we've only won once and they've won 10 in the last 18 games. There are 7 draws in that period, and I think one of those draws counts as the Community Shield, which we won on penalties. But otherwise, it's been a while since we've actually beaten City, so I'm hopeful we can turn it around today. You know what? Even looking at this, maybe we should be going positive from the start. No, I'm not going to doubt myself. We're going to stick with it. We're going to go attacking from the off. We're going to try and get a good result. We're going to try and get a couple of goals at home. It worked against Chelsea. I'm confident it can work against Manchester City as well. Lineup we're going with Mancini in goal, Abdesamad and Esteban as a defensive pairing, Carlos Andre and Lucas Gabriel as the wing-backs, Henry and Santana anchoring midfield, Harold as the inverted winger on the left, Castro as the inverted winger on the right, Schaefer and Rivera leading the line up top. For City, we've played them a bunch of times. You guys have seen them a few times this week already. They have some phenomenal players. Pages, the central defender, is their highest average rating so far in this competition. Midfield anchor by trade, but they're playing as a ball-playing defender, it would appear. 4-star current and potential ability. Full French international as well. He looks pretty solid. He'll play alongside Mamadou Gay, who we looked at for a little while back when he was at Bordeaux. We just couldn't afford him in the end. He went for 34 million overall, all up front. We don't really often do upfront payments. This might have actually been his release clause. And it looks like he's had a pretty decent season. 7.04 across 25 appearances this year. Excellent tackling, decent heading as well. Good mental attributes, solid physical attributes. He looks pretty solid. 4-star and 4.5-star potential for the 22-year-old Frenchman. Peacock, we know, of course, he previously played for us and was our first England international in the squad. Vasher is excellent, their captain and highest scorer for this season. Pereira is an absolute beast as well. 4.5-star current ability and potential as well. Menegazzo previously played at Brighton. He's their leading assist maker this season. Gonzalez is a beast. Sanchez is a beast. They're a very, very good side. We've played them enough times now that we're familiar with their lineup, familiar with their structure, the way that they play. And I'm hopeful that that comfort and familiarity get us beyond them today. Assertively, we're going to say, go out there and carry straight on from where you finished last match. And I'm going to calmly tell the front two that I've got faith in them as well. Just to hopefully give everyone a bit of a boost in terms of their morale, in terms of their confidence heading into the fixture. And we're just going to keep an eye on the other fixtures in the other tie as well. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we didn't get a positive result here. We have come back from deficits against Schalke and Chelsea as well. Santana finds Gabriel, ball back stick. Harold cuts it back for Schaefer, and Schaefer comes into the lineup and he's given us a 1-goal advantage on 9 minutes. 17th goal of the season for him, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider how many goals he comes off the bench and scores, it is a pretty phenomenal return from a striker that doesn't necessarily start in our full-strength lineup. Wonderful pass there from Harold, just knocking it back into a dangerous area. Schaefer on his favoured left foot, smashes it into the far corner, and we take a 1-goal advantage after 10 minutes. Castro's won the ball back here in a great area and beaten a man, gets to the ball and cuts it back to Harold, and it's a second goal in the game. Wonderful run there from Castro. He picked the ball up on around halfway, beat a couple of guys, and then Harold with a fantastic run, arriving late into the box at back stick. You can see here, Castro just bursts past the man, gets to the byline, cuts it back to a great area, and Harold just heads that back across the keeper. Cerrone could do nothing about it because of the arc of the ball. And after 30 minutes, we've had 2 highlights pretty much, and 2 goals to show for it. We're going to hit demand more. We're going to try and give everyone some focus through to half-time. The deep throw in here, the deepest that we've seen the ball in City's half. Ball forward to Harold, who takes a lovely touch around the defender and sends a ball in behind for Rivera. Can we make it 3 in the first half? We can indeed. Holy shit, we are tearing Man City apart in this one. 34th goal of the season for Pablo Rivera. Depending on the results in other games, that may have also taken him top scorer in the Champions League this season. That touch for Harold around the defender was lovely, and it's a very well-weighted pass in behind. The fullbacks keep Rivera on, gets it on his favoured left foot, slides it underneath the on-rushing Cerrone in the Man City goal. And I thought we might perform pretty well given that we're in good form and then we're on the back of a couple of wins, but I didn't expect us to come out and go 3-0 up in the first half of this one. I can be honest with you about that. Ball into Sanchez here in midfield. This is the first we've seen of City's build-up play at any point. Sanchez at the base, back to Brady. They might have made a tactical change since going 3 down. Peacock cuts into midfield. He's a good dribbler. Looks to bring in Francois at left back. All the way back to Gay. Now Gonzalez, Menegazzo, reverse pass for Pereira. First time we've seen them kind of get in behind a little bit. Ball to Vasher. Pancini with a good save and then plays it out to Gabriel. Maybe he could have saved that one. It's showing us that highlight. It never crosses the line, FM, so take this out of next year's game, please. Last highlight of the first half, Mancini, forward to Esteban. Can play it further down the right or go back to the keeper. Gabriel picks up possession. Santana across to Henri, who's picked up a bit of a knock. We might have to be wary of that as we get into the second half. We'll have a look at him at half-time. Abdesamad. Out to Carlos Andre, ball into midfield. Santana does quite well to turn in a tight space. Looks for Rivera over the top. Hasn't got a lot of angle to work with. Cuts it back stick and Schaefer knocks it home. We're 4-0 up against Manchester City in the first half of a Champions League semi-final. That is absolutely ridiculous. It was saying in the commentary there that Mamadou Gay's missed interception was the reason, but I think this is just fantastic work from Rivera. Doesn't rush anything. You see so many strikers in that wide area shoot. And I tell you what, Schaefer's just gone flying through the back of everybody. It's maybe a foul in the build-up. Feel like he might have gone through a guy before he got to the ball, but he nods home and the ref lets it stand. At halftime, 9 shots, 4 on target, 47% possession for the Isle of Man for 4 goals. 9 shots, 6 on target, 53% for Manchester City. I am going to passionately tell everyone that I'm very pleased with their performance. Keep it up, lads. And tell you what, attacking seems to be working for the time being, so we're going to leave it. Henri's on 75% condition. That's not the worst in the world, but we might try and sub him out after the hour just to try and get him fit for the second leg. Harold with the ball here, back to Henri. Can we work this side to side? He's looked for a good ball over the top to Castro. Lucas Gabriel's also there in support. He plays to him now. Pereira wins it back, looks to send one up the line, but Esteban should recover on his own. Into Santana, now Castro. Lovely passing play here from the team. Esteban into Henri. Switch out to the left to Harold. Can he find the cutback from the wide area? Looks to play a good ball in, but it's closed down by the defence. Cut back to Carlos Andre, and then Schaefer hits the crossbar, but eventually it's brought back for the offside. Thrown on the right here for City. They are running out of time pretty quickly. Brady in possession, finds Sanchez. Switch is poor. Castro wins it back in a great area and plays forward to Rivera. Good switch out towards Schaefer here, and it's a first-time finish for Schaefer. It's a hat-trick in a Champions League semi-final for a guy that realistically, if we had a fully fit lineup, would not be starting. It's a wonderful match from Uli Schaefer. Great ball in there from Castro. First time finds Rivera, and then Rivera unselfishly on his left foot. That is perfectly weighted, and Schaefer doesn't take a second touch. He just rifles it back across the keeper, who's trying to get his angles right. And we go 5-0 up against Manchester City. Absolutely insane. The shit part of this is that I need Man City to try and get some points out of Chelsea in the league, and it's not looking super likely on the back of this performance. We're just going to look at fitness for this one. So Henri, 71%. We're going to bring on David Lind. We're going to maybe switch Lind to the box and Santana as the DLP. And then we might also look at other conditioning. Lucas Gabriel, 76%. Isn't bad, but we might bring on Furkan Yilmaz as well, just to try and keep as many fresh legs as possible. We do have a huge fixture in the Premier League against Everton between these two games. So we do want to try and get our strongest lineup out, not just for that game, but also for the second leg as well. Highlight starts here. Cerrone with the long ball forward to Brady from the goal kick. He's closed down well, and the deflection finds Schaefer. Can Schaefer turn provider for Rivera? It's a good ball in, but Francois with a good header away. Clearance is a bit wild. Furkan Yilmaz should recover for us. Can we work this back into midfield? Santana, ball over the top. Francois with a lovely header back to Cerrone in goal. You can see Francois moved to a central defensive position. They might have brought on a new left back in place of Gay. Vasha, right-hand side, we know his quality as he gets into the box. Just stand him up, boys. Backstick ball towards Pereira, just over the crossbar. And even though we are 5-0 up, any away goals that they might pick up in the next few minutes could have a telling effect on the second leg. Castro, wide free kick, wide right area towards backstick. Esteban gets there first. It pinballs around, and Schaefer's put it home for his 4th goal of the game. That is absolutely ridiculous. His 20th goal of the season. Bruno Castro with a wonderful ball in, and I think it might have been Esteban who goes up for the initial header here. We'll check it out in 3 dimensions. Esteban with a great header. Pages takes a little touch trying to clear it, and then Schaefer, as he did for his 3rd goal, slides in at the far post and nods it home. We are 6-0 up on aggregate against Manchester City. We've got one more sub up our sleeve as well. We're just going to go on fitness. Harold is on 72%. That's not bad, but we'll bring on Mateo. Bit of fresh legs for the last few minutes. Just head to the corner flag, mate. You don't have to do too much else. We're going to also use a demand more shout just to hopefully give everyone some focus through to full time. 6-0 in a Champions League semi-final. What a ridiculous scoreline. 2 minutes of additional time, and we're through that now. That is probably our best performance that I think we've had at any point in this save. To beat Manchester City by that amount is crazy. 18 shots, 10 on target, 51% possession, 16 shots, 9 on target, 49% for Manchester City, and 6-0 victors on the day. Passionately, we're going to say I'm very pleased with the result and your performance. Everybody looks absolutely thrilled. Look at some of these match ratings. That is just fantastic. Holy shit, I don't even know how to react. City United won their game 2-0 against Real Madrid as well, so they still remain in the box seat in their tie. Schaefer, of course, 4 goals and a 9.8 match rating. He absolutely deserves the Player of the Match award. Henri's injured. He's going to be out 3 to 6 weeks, which sucks. That probably counts him out of the second leg. I'm going to give Schaefer a bit of praise, though. Superb in front of goal. Liverpool look to bet on Esteban for, I think, pretty much the whole season. If they come in with 80 million, I'll sell him, because he keeps going to nightclubs during off seasons, which is frustrating me. All right, we've got 3 days till our game against Everton and a week until the match against Man City, which is the next one that we're going to come back for. We are going to utilise a rest day, so we'll probably put Santana across. Might start David Lind. We'll put Haji on the bench. And we're going to put everyone that's due to play against Everton, we're going to give them 1 rest day just to hopefully get their condition back up above 90%. Magic editing though, we're going to jump forward to the game against Manchester City away at the Etihad now. All right, so a little bit earlier than what I said we were going to come back, because we just beat Everton 5-1. A fantastic performance, an own goal, Schaefer with another one, Esteban with a goal, Kozlov, Lind off the bench as well, getting an absolute screamer. They pulled one back through Alfie Osborne, but at the same time, Chelsea have only drawn with Arsenal, which means with 2 games remaining in the season, we are currently sitting top of the division on goal difference only. Absolutely wild. Arsenal were actually winning for most of the game. They went down to 10 men in the 88th minute, Alan Linares, who will forever be one of my enemies, got himself sent off, and then Chelsea equalised through Christian Furr in the 92nd minute. Otherwise, we'd be point clear on top of goal difference, which would just be absolutely ridiculous. And with 2 league games remaining against Leeds and Watford, we kind of have maybe like a pinky finger, the edge of our pinky, sitting on the Premier League title. We will definitely have to bring you those 2 games in tomorrow's episode for sure. But as things stand, heading into the last 2 games of the season, we are top of the division and 6-0 up on aggregate in our first leg of the Champions League semi-final. We might be on for an unprecedented quadruple this season. But why am I saying that out loud? Why am I inviting Sports Interactive to try and change things? All right, so recapping the first legs, we're 6-0 up on aggregate, United to 2-0 up on aggregate heading into the away fixtures. We are going to go with our positive structure, but pretty much the same lineup. Haji comes in for Arnaud Henry, who's out injured. Santana and Haji played pretty well against Everton, so I'm just going to go with that one. David Lind, still not 100% fit. He's still only suggested to play 45 minutes. We don't want to run the risk of putting him back in too early and losing him to injury as well. But otherwise, it's pretty much an unchanged lineup from the first leg. I'm hopeful if we even just like get a 0-0 draw or even like a 2-0 defeat, absolutely fine. If we start losing 3 or 4-0, I'm going to start panicking and get very nervous very quickly. They've made a couple of changes to their lineup. Looks like they've kind of adjusted their backline. Mamadou Gay is out. Francois moves into the central of defence. Ruaben comes in at left back, which I think was a sub that they actually made in the previous game. Sanchez plays, and they've dropped one of their midfielders out. It might have been Gonzalez. Pages, who previously played at centre-back, he moves into midfield as a DLP. But their front 3, Pereira, Venegazzo, Peacock remains the same. Owens comes in and starts up top ahead of Vasher, who played in the last game, who might be out suspended or injured or something like that. But we're 6-0 up. Really, we just have to minimise defeat as much as possible. Assertively, we're going to say carry on from where you finished in the last match. And it hasn't quite worked. So I'm just going to tell everybody that I've got faith in them. We're not going to panic. We're not going to worry if City score. We're going to stay on our positive structure, play a little bit deeper, try and get a good result, or at least try and limit the amount that they score in the second leg. It would take the heaviest defeat. It would be the biggest turnaround I think I've ever seen in Football Manager if they lose the first leg 6-0 and then beat us 6-0 in the second leg. Or 7-0, I guess, if they want to go through outside of extra time. Throwing here deep on the right-hand side, in our possession, Rivera finds Lucas Gabriel from the throw. Good touch around the defender, backstick ball to Paul Harold, and that's got to be it, surely. We've gone 1-0 up inside 15 minutes. Paul Harold's 11th goal of the season. Lucas Gabriel has been a revelation at right back this season. Right winger by trade, we couldn't quite fit him into the inverted winger style. We've converted him into a right winger, which he was comfortably in first, but he has been fantastic this season. His ability to dribble, take on a man, and get deliveries like that into the box has been exceptional. We are now 7-0 up in aggregate. Sanchez deep corner here. It's pinballing around. Whelan's pulled one back, so 1-1 on the tie, 7-1 up on aggregate. Just saw before this highlight flashed up as well. It looks like Real Madrid have taken a 1-goal advantage against Manchester United. I wonder if there'll be a turnaround in that fixture. Whelan's initial header against the crossbar, and then he taps home into the empty net. Corner to be taken, goal kick to be taken. Esteban, forward to Lucas Gabriel, flick on header towards Castro. Back into midfield here with Santana. We look to switch it out to the left. Carlos Andre just gets there in time. They were pressing pretty aggressively there. Peacock going after the ball. Cut back here to Harold. Can he get to the byline? Finds Schaefer square, who was phenomenal in the first leg. Santana at the edge of the area. Across to Haji. Gets the strike away. What a goal that is for Hisham Haji. He was transfer listed for a bit. He's still on the transfer list, but he's removed his own request to be on the transfer list. Hasn't played that many games. We started the season trying to change him to be a deep line forward. He's now playing as a box-to-box midfielder, and he's come up with a huge goal in our Champions League semi-final for us. Wonderful strike at the first time of asking. High on his right foot into the roof of the net. Keeping can do nothing about it, and he peels off towards the corner flag to celebrate, hopefully putting us 1 foot into a Champions League final appearance. We've got 10 minutes remaining in the half. We're going to hit demand more. And they've immediately got a highlight, which is always frustrating. Peacock and Brady on the right-hand side. Deep ball towards Pereira. It's a wonderful save from Mancini at far post, pushing it out for the corner. We don't even see the resulting corner. It just immediately goes past. But we've got one of our own. 39 minutes played. Ball in. Cleared away. Sanchez recovers at the top of the box. Santana's going to put the ball back in for us. Well, it's a poor clearance. Toby Owens has gotten goal side on halfway. He's got a lot of work to do from distance and rounds the keeper and finishes magnificently. Toby Owens consistently scores against us, and he always seems to score by rounding the keeper. It's a poor ball in midfield there from Santana. Owens picks it up, and his pace takes him away from the rest of the defence. And as the keeper comes out, he just rounds him, gets it on his left foot, and slides it home into the empty net. 2-2 in the tie, 8-2 on aggregate. Surely they're not going to score another 6 goals. Even then, we go through on away goals, so they've got to score 7. Menegato, wide free kick towards Whelan back post. Pages has a chance, but he puts the header against the crossbar. It's brought back though for the offside from the flick on header. Esteban with possession here, back to Mancini. Just wait for them to trigger the press. Owens comes now, forward to Esteban. Across to Abdesamad, now Santana can turn in midfield. Can we work this left to right? Pages with a good tackle, wins it back from him. Sanchez, back to Pages again. Sanchez switch out to the left-hand side. Pereira's 1v1. Wide right area. Lucas Gabriel jumps in a little bit, but Pereira knocks it back to Ruabin on the overlap. Sanchez, Pereira. Good little passage of play here from City. Ball out to Peacock, and Carlos Andres jumped in when he didn't need to. It's definitely going to be a penalty. I don't really see these often get called and not turned down or turned down as a pen. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Pereira, the left winger. Mancini steps up, and what a save that is from Federico Mancini. Not that it matters. They can go 3-2 up. It's not really going to matter that much. Corner, resulting corner, in by Menegato. It's with deep effort, and it's going to go out for the goal kick on the far side. What a save that is from Federico Mancini. And as halftime's called, 12 shots, 6 on target, 47% for Manchester City, 4 shots, 3 on target, 53% of the ball for Isle of Man. That missed penalty might be the story of the first half. We've got a couple of knocks. Lucas Gabriel has a bit of a knock. I'm not going to risk him. We might take him off. Actually, first we'll do the team talk, and we'll calmly say, I'm very pleased with your performance. Keep it going. And then tactically speaking, we might also make that adjustment just to take him off. I'd rather he was fit for the final and the last games of the season than this particular fixture, even though making subs at halftime is relatively early. We've got an immediate highlight here as the second half kicks off. Menegato out wide right to Peacock. It's cut out though by Harold. Carlos Andre into Santana in midfield. Good reverse pass to Schaefer, who has a little pocket of space to turn, but he goes back to Carlos Andre instead, who carries the ball forward. Back to Santana. Switch out towards the right-hand side. Ruabin's header is poor. Furkan Yilmaz will cover. He loses out though. Ruabin wins it back. Pereira with the ball forward to Menegato, and here comes City. He's got men to the left. We just need to send him to the right. Esteban with a good challenge, but it falls to Brady. Wide right area. Cut back to Pages. It's closed down again. It's pinballing around, and Abdesamad just concedes the corner. Good save from Mancini. He was falling backwards though. Not sure he would have got to the second ball if not for the intervention. Menegato with the corner. Harold with a good header away. And why do we see this highlight as often as we do? It never crosses the line, Football Manager. Real Madrid currently 2-0 up in their tie, so it's 2-2 on aggregate in the other game. There is a chance we'll play Real Madrid after a huge come-from-behind victory if they can find another goal. If United find something, you'd think they'll go through on away goals. Ruabin in the corner beats Furkan Yilmaz, gets a ball in towards Toby Owens, and that time he makes no mistake. City go 3-2 up in this second leg. It's a good ball in, to be fair, from Ruabin, and Toby Owens just scores against us. If he gets chances, he finishes them. He's just one of those players. It's a good ball in, and Owens has a lot of work to do. He's actually moving against the flight of the ball. You would back Esteban in that situation 9 times out of 10, but he gets there first, heads it back across the keeper, and it gives them the 1-goal advantage. Menegato with the corner towards Pereira, knocked down by Sanchez. They've put another one home. It's Whelan's second goal of the game. He had 3 in the season before today, and he's added 2 to his tally for the year. Menegato's header, it's Pereira's header and Sanchez's strike, and then it's actually a shot on goal from Sanchez, but Whelan puts his head on it. Big old brickhead Whelan nods it home for a 4-2 lead for City. We're going to make some subs here. Esteban not playing particularly well. We might give him a spell, bring on Warburton. Carlos Andre not playing particularly well either, but I'm going to leave him out there. Rivera not having the greatest game. We might bring on Kozlov just to blood him a little bit further. Might see Schaefer move to the advanced forward role, see if that can kind of inspire him a little bit. And then we're also going to use a Get Creative shout with about 30 minutes remaining. We are conceding quite a bit as far as the positive structure. Let's go attacking for the last 30 minutes. It did us well in the first leg. Let's see if we can't try and pull something back. Haji backstick ball, Serroni equal to it though. Great delivery from Bruno Castro as always. Real Madrid have taken a 3-0 lead against Manchester United. So as things stand, we would face Real Madrid in the final. We don't have any subs left, so we're just going to use a demand more shout in the last 10 minutes here. If you had said 4-2 defeat in the second leg, I would have taken it. That's absolutely fine. Haji's got the ball here, wide right area though. Owens wins it back. Cut back for Castro though. We recover possession. Santana with the strike, but it's closed down well. Furkan Yilmaz back to Santana. Into Kozlov in a good area, but Zhang Yu's won it back. Now Santana recovers in midfield, and the strike just didn't have enough pace on it. Serroni able to push it over the crossbar. Haji with the corner towards back post. There's players in there, but it runs all the way through. Abdesamad should recover, but Menegato right there to take it back off him. And as we drop off, Menegato's got all the time in the world. City, no real urgency here to try and get the ball forward, despite being down still on aggregate. Flick on header here finds Gonzalez, who's come off the bench. Beats a couple and gets the strike away. Just as I was saying, there's no urgency. They've come up with a great finish. Federico Gonzalez with his 5th goal of the season. Have you ever seen me play a game, be losing 5-2 and just be as chill and calm as I am at the moment? I don't think I've ever had a game like this one. It's all over the shop though. 87 minutes played. They're not going to score the remaining goals that they need. If they do, I'll quit the channel. That's it. We'll finish the season. I'll shut the channel down. That'll be it. 3 minutes of additional time to be added on. We're through the majority of that time now. Come on, referee, blow the final whistle. It's a 5-2 defeat on the day, but I don't give a shit. 17 shots, 11 on target, 45% possession for Manchester City. 8 shots, 6 on target, 55% of the ball for the Isle of Man. Assertively, we're going to say, or passionately, we're going to say, I'm very pleased with the result and your performance, and everybody's responded positively, which is fantastic. And now, what did it finish in the other game? I didn't quite see the final score. 3-0. So Real Madrid have overturned a 2-goal deficit from the first leg, and that sets up a famous final game for us in the Champions League this season. Whelan got the Man of the Match award with his double, which makes sense. We qualify for the Club World Championship for some reason, and we're going to play Real Madrid in the final, which is absolutely insane. That'll be a part of tomorrow's episode, of course. Spanish Props was there having a look at Esteban and Bruno Castro, which is well deserved for both of those players. We have a game in 2 days against Leeds, which will be a part of tomorrow's episode. We're going to use a rest day just for everyone that started. Lucas Gabriel's knock doesn't look too bad. He should hopefully be back for that fixture. We've got it all to play for, guys. Tomorrow's episode is going to be absolutely massive. We've got the final 2 games of the league season to potentially win our first Premier Division title and a Champions League final against Real Madrid. What more could you want to finish off your week? Some massive results in this fixture. If you want to help me celebrate, drop a like on this video or subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos, including tomorrow where we could win the Premier Division, we could win the Champions League. There's a whole lot more to come on the channel. But as always, more than anything, I just appreciate you guys watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.